Hey guys, it's Joel with Coreware. Welcome to episode 7 of Core AI Tactics. Today we're going to have a guest with us talking to us about how he uses AI in all kinds of different ways. But while we're waiting, I'm going to get off the screen. We're going to play a video, and I'm just going to play this video over and over again until we come back. And you're going to be able to enjoy some of our beautiful Latin hip hop music as well. Since Ezra didn't like my, I guess he doesn't like all my songs sound the same. However, this kind of sounds the same as well. But be watch these clips in this video, and they'll have a number associated with them. I want you to write down the number of the videos that you think are uh, AI generated. So watch each one, and I want you to write the number down. When you say, yeah, that's AI generated, just write that number down and actually just share it in the comments. Whatever numbers that you think are AI generated. This is really fascinating stuff. So I'm going to hop off, play this video, and you guys can enjoy some of this beautiful music that we created just for you.
In a world where data streams, got machine learn your dream. We're diving deep into the core, where AI reigns supreme. From the shadows of code, where algorithms roam, we're mapping out the future as we make this tech our own. AI tactics, we're blazing trails so bright, turning bytes to brilliance in the still of the night. From the roots of innovation to the heights we'll claim, we're shaping the future in this AI game. From predictive models to the deep learning scenes, we're crafting new solutions, unraveling the unseen. With every line of code and each breakthrough we find, we're unlocking possibilities, expanding the mind. AI tactics, we're blazing trails so bright, turning bytes to brilliance in the still of the night. From the roots of innovation to the heights we'll claim, we're shaping the future in this AI game. Predictive models to the deep learning scenes, we're crafting new solutions, unraveling the unseen. With every line of code and each breakthrough we find, we're unlocking possibilities, expanding the mind. AI tactics, we're blazing trails so bright, turning bytes to brilliance in the still of the night. From the roots of innovation to the heights we'll claim, we're shaping the future in this AI game. In the heart of the data, where the insights collide, we're pioneering progress with AI as our guide. Through the neural networks and the data we weave, we're crafting tomorrow in the algorithms we believe. AI game, as we turn the pages and embrace the unknown, we're building the future in the seeds we've sown. With core AI tactics, the horizons aglow. Together we're advancing as the possibilities grow. In a world where data streams, got machine learn your dream. We're diving deep into the core, where AI reigns supreme. From the shadows of code, where algorithms roam, we're mapping out the future.
What do you guys think? This crazy. I know we all know who the last guy is. Probably the most famous person from the Olympics, besides the breakdancer. So today we have with us Demetrius, who I'm going to bring on right now. And we have not spoken because I think there was a mix up in communication. So this is literally the first time we're talking here on this platform. So hopefully everything goes smooth. I'm going to remove my screen here and bring old Demetrius on. And then we'll start talking about I want to have a conversation about how he's using different tools for his business. Um, I know AI seems kind of confusing right now for someone that's been paying attention to it for since ChatGPT first launched, publicly back in uh, I think it's two years ago or so. Um, Things have radically changed. I mean, there were maybe a dozen companies that were doing AI anything, and now they're. I think I follow a guy on X, and he's tracking I think over 10,000 companies, AI companies that actually do different things with AI, and a lot of that stuff's just wrapped in Chat GPT or Google's AI. So it's not a lot of it's not really original. They're just figuring out ways to use AI to provide a service, which is what we do with these webinars, because you are totally capable of doing what these companies do. These companies just figured out a way to monetize it. But if you apply a little bit of time, elbow grease, and just learn how to do this stuff, you can do all kinds of different things that will make your job as a business owner, as a manager, whatever you're doing, a whole lot easier. I mean, this really leverages the ability of a human being. So, with that, I'm going to bring Demetrius on. Hey, Demetrius, how are you?
I'm doing good. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you fine, man.
All right, doing good. Sorry about the mix-up. Thought we
Oh,
were
you're
on
good.
Google Teams and all that stuff, so we
Oh,
got it
you're
all
good,
figured out.
man. Hey, let me ask you a question. Did you have an opportunity to watch the video as it was playing when you came on?
I did.
Which ones do you think were AI generated? I know you probably follow this stuff as closely as I do. Which
It's
ones do
really
you
hard
think
to
were AI
tell.
generated?
I didn't write all of them down. I mean, there was a few where you can kind of just see how their hands were moving a little bit.
Right,
Maybe their face features seemed a little, stiff, but it
right,
was really hard to tell. To tell you the truth, it was,
yeah,
unless I really,
right,
honed in
right.
on there, it was hard.
And Armac Tactical guessed 8 for sure. And believe it or not, every one of those was AI generated. I know some of them were very, very obvious, but there were a
Wow.
few where I'm like, I've always been able to tell people the way you're going to figure out what is AI and what is not is the eyes, because humans for some reason can't put life into an inanimate object, but we are getting so stinking close. The next my test, there's this thing called the Turing test where they determine, hey, is this artificial general intelligence or not? My test is the eyes. The next thing is, and I've only come up with this recently because the eyes are getting so good, is the speech. It's really hard to match, because it's not just words coming out of our mouth, it's inflection, it's tone, it's all these different things that go along with facial expressions as you're talking. And I think they'll get there one day, and probably a whole lot faster than I'm thinking. I'm usually the one that's thinking, no, it's going to happen tomorrow. This is crazy how fast everything's advancing, which is a good thing for all of you out there, because you're going to be able to, and I've said this for like a year, man. Whenever I start, because we keep up with this stuff, Demetrius. You see like, oh my gosh, I see where we're going. There's coming a day where you'll be able to spend 10 or 15 minutes prompting a movie. You're going to go to work 8 hours later. You're going to be able to come home to a Hollywood epic. You know what I mean? I mean, you're not. This
Right.
is so disruptive to music, to any kind of art, marketing, any kind of creative stuff. And I want to make this point as well before we hand it over to you and you kind of walk us through with what you're doing. A lot of people, we get caught up in, well, is this artificial general intelligence, which is AGI, which is what everybody's shooting for. Um, and I think that's already here, because when you think about it, and I heard I think it was a chief at Microsoft said the same thing that I've had this bouncing around my head, right? You're like, how can you tell if this AI is intelligent? Well, what does AI do? AI takes all this different data, right? Compartmentalizes it, spits it out, and it makes sense to that, particular model or robot or whatever. What do? Humans, we take in all this data, we compartmentalize, and then we apply whatever that knowledge is to whatever it is that we're doing. So I think we're already there. I just think that maybe, a lot of people don't understand that maybe it's agentic intelligence where an agent has its own life, right? So you program it, hey, here's your mission in life, go out and do it. And then it's autonomous, right? And I know that's coming as well. I think that's why they've been tapping the brakes so hard over the past few months, is because if a government, I think this is the next nuclear race, right? I think AI is the next nuclear race, because if you have one of those models that can do that, you can cause all kinds of, issues for your adversaries, right? Because we're talking, just like we're telling you, the viewers out there, if you use these tools, you can weaponize all the data that you're collecting within your business. So what are people looking at on your website? What emails are they opening? What's selling really well? If you learn to weaponize all that data and feed it into one of these robots or one of these large language models, you're going to be able to crack the code. You're going to be able to figure out, oh my gosh, so on this particular day of this particular month, for some reason, for the past 3 years, this item is really sold. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to capitalize on it. I'm going to advertise it, and I'm going to blow these things out, right? So it's going to give you the ability to do the work, of 100 people. So with that, Demetrius, I want to. We're going to turn it over to you, kind of. I'm going to still be here. So if you want to share the screen or anything, just let me know. But we want to know, because I know that you and I have had conversations. You showed me some things at the, we had a conversation at the NSSF Marketing and Leadership Summit there in Florida. And I knew we were both on the same wavelength, because the things that you were telling me, it's like, dude, that's what we're doing as well. We're trying to figure out how to, basically weaponize in a non-violent way. We're trying to figure out how to weaponize these tools. And you sent me some videos, you sent me some music that you've done, and it's all just fascinating. Can you tell us how you're using those tools to increase your business or, create more engagement with your customers?
Sure. So a little context, I'm no AI expert. Kind of an oxymoron. I was in the intelligence career field for over 20 years, military and U.S. government and law enforcement, all this stuff. So, everything I do, I'm always pessimistic, right? So when I first kind of got keyed into AI, I was just really curious from an attribution standpoint, meaning, can our foreign adversaries mimic a signature on a missile, on a satellite, and on some kind of whatever has a beep, squeak, and a blip, right? And if they can attribute that to somebody else, now we're living in a real-time movie where now you have global war games, right? Would you like to play a game?
Some
right?
of all fears,
right? So that's when I really got interested in it, and I use it more as I need to learn about this, because this is who we're going to be fighting in the future. Now, parlay that, I'm retired from the military and got out of the intelligence world. I'm a director. I'm an executive at a company, but I do the gun business stuff on the side. So when I decided to up my game in the business stuff, got with Coreware, right? I was a big part of it. And then I decided, well, what am I going to do that's different than every other 1,000 gun shops that are online around the country, right? You got one in every municipality. And I really kind of wanted to hone in on pop culture, embracing music, embracing all the things that we just normally do, and then baking some guns and all this stuff on that. So I really started, and being a musician, this is really hard to stomach, because the music that you can create on AI, it's just sad for me. I'm like, I played in college. Oh my God, my hands are bleeding, and oh geez. So But it does also help from creating a song structure. So I first started really getting into it, one with AI voice generation, just to see if maybe I wanted to do a 1 minute video on a P365, let's just say. And I didn't want to set up all the cameras and get all the stuff. I got a YouTube studio that I've built, but before all that, I'm like, well, how can I kind of hack that a little bit? So I just want to start there, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And let me see. So I have 11 labs up. Let me see. Let me see. The buttonology in here is a little different, so let me share the screen if I can.
Yeah, you're good, man.
All right.
When I see it in the green room here, I'll throw it up on the screen. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready. All right. So this is just an example. So 11 Labs is a audio AI voice replication software. Everyone's heard of it. I think there was something on the news a couple of weeks ago that maybe the president had used this to pass a message on to another candidate. But I've used this a little bit on and off just to kind of see how it goes. You have all these different voices you can use that come pre-packed, but I actually created a few different voices. You basically take a script, you read it back, you record it, it analyzes it for a while, and then it kind of spits out. And I got to learn, first I did it was really dry and monotonous. I'm like, oh God, if I sound like that, I'm jumping off a cliff. All right. So then I kind of did a voice where I was more animated. I was like, throwing my hands around the mic, and I came up with, just this animated, voice. So going back to this, and then to generate a speech, let me generate this. And the volume should be good once it starts.
Can't hear it. Is it playing?
It is. Is that not playing?
No, it's not playing through your deals.
Okay, let me just give me one.
So while you're doing that, I'm gonna when I first found 11 Labs, I cloned Ezra's voice.
Oh, nice.
And Josh, who is on with us right now, we'll bring him on a little later when it's time to wrap everything up, because you guys are his hair, he needs a haircut. I'm just joking, Josh.
Okay.
Hair looks fine, man. No, but he stopped by on the way back home. He was in Texas and he was driving back to North Carolina, and he had to pick something up, and I had something ready to go, and I'm like, I'm gonna have Ezra say, hey Josh, you need to respect Joel. He's working really hard for this company, and not unlike you. And man, it sounded so like him, but it was rare. And this was months ago, so I'm sure it's gotten a lot better, but it was kind of choppy. But the voice, the sound, it was like, dude, that's Ezra. You know what I mean? And if he's watching, I hope he's not watching. I erased that Ezra. No, I've been tempted to fire a lot of people just using his voice, send them a little voice message saying, hey, sorry, you're out of here, Josh. No, but did you get it?
Hey, what I'm gonna try let me try to switch my audio device here just
okay.
all this, and then I'll put my mic back on.
Yeah, you're good.
If this works here. Yeah, it's not allowing me to pick a browser. So let me do this. I'm going to put my audio on the computer, right? The little microphone, and see if that just.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of blast it. And speaker, external, got it. All right, here we go. Nope. Should have worked this out before I got on. I need AI to help me out with this.
Right. Hey, and if anybody's wondering, AI, this 11 Labs recently came out with a really cool phone app that you can download. I know I have it for iOS, but basically it gives you and I know they work these deals out with the estates of these people. So you've got Burt Reynolds. I'm trying to think of the other one. It's a really classical British voice that they basically cloned. Well, you can upload all your documents, or you could upload a book or whatever and have it read in those voices, which is really cool, because a lot of times, when you have an audio book, a lot of audiobooks are really big right now, a lot of books aren't, haven't been read. So all you got to do is get the PDF version of that book, upload it to this app, and have it read in one of these voices. One of them was who's Dorothy from Wizard of Oz? Who was that? I can't remember.
Aging myself here.
Me too. No, we're not aging ourselves because we don't know. No, not Morgan Freeman. All these people are dead. So I'm assuming that their voices are better for them when they're alive, because you don't want people to go out and misuse this. But Judy Garland, thank you. It was Judy Garland. That's right. So yeah, you can have them read in these different ones, and that's what these companies like this are doing. I didn't know where 11 Labs was going to go from, hey, voice generation and creation. Well, they found another way to make money. Did you figure it out?
Well, let's try it. I don't want to sound it off while you were speaking. So
no, she's not British, Dean. It was a different actor. I can find it real quick.
Can you hear anything?
Or everyday carry pistols since its introduction. This compact handgun is a blend of innovative engineering and ergonomic design, which has made it a favorite among concealed carry enthusiasts. In this review, we'll dive into the features that set the P365 apart from its competitors.
So if you're able to hear that,
that's not you reading that.
No, that's AI.
So did you clone your voice, because it sounded like you?
I did. So I just threw a bunch of crap on the paper, just some crazy words, random words. That way it kind of learns how I articulate. And I read it back a few times, recorded it, and then it'll analyze it, and then it'll kind of spit out a model based on that. And I've done other ones like funny voices, like, hey, like a real crazy gravelly voice, and
right,
just like you, like to call the dog or something, just messing around with it, or like hide it. My wife's going, what is that voice? So 11 Labs works really well, especially I think for shorter content, right? Because not everyone wants to do a 30-minute YouTube review video on something. Maybe you just want to have a quick 1-minute blast on something. You get the message out, you put some pictures on there, it cycles through, faceless channel, a lot of easy stuff. And there's other ways to use it too. But that's how I started, was 11 Labs and just messing with voice synthesis until I got into the music stuff. And so we'll switch over now to Suno. I think you're pretty familiar with Suno.
Yes, we enjoyed some of that. We enjoyed a masterpiece while we were getting ready for this. Hey, and real quick, it's Sir Laurence Olivier, James Dean, Burt Reynolds, and Judy Garland are those voices, and they're fantastic. I've listened to some, so if you need to take in some data, right, audibly, this is the way to do it, because it's obviously a whole lot better to have somebody read something to you than you read if you're driving.
Oh, 100%.
Hey, Josh, yes, you can.
Oh, let me look at the comments here.
Voice effects or filters. You absolutely can. And what Demetrius just showed us with 11 Labs, it's a lot more technical. So what you just heard required a lot of work, because you can go in and you can control inflection, you can control tone, you can control, cadence of all that stuff. And a lot of times, man, it's just you're doing maybe a 15-second clip, but you may have to render that thing numerous times before you get, you land where you want in regards to how it sounds. And, you want it to sound natural. Obviously, you don't want it to sound AI. So, 11 Labs does allow you to do all of that stuff, Josh.
Yeah, and it really works fairly well. As long as you get some manuscript you kind of read off of, and then if you just don't read it like this, that's how it'll come out. So if you read it like you're excited and you're happy to read it, it's gonna mimic that a lot, which is good. It's pretty smart. So the other part was, as I was kind of getting my initial web page design kind of figured out, and I knew I wanted to do a lot of characters, like the gun DeLorean is he's like the parody character that travels through time, and he's whoever he needs to be. And gun DeLorean is this universe of guns and characters and stuff. I really wanted to work on music and just have it like, well, hey, maybe someone wants to like listen to music while they play, kind of do some
Sure.
like subliminal messaging, and they're not like bygones, but just I had a theme song that I kind of created. I'm downstairs drumming, I'm playing the guitar. I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna take me forever to even make one of these. So I got on the Suno and I started messing around with it. And I mean, I got tons and tons of songs, and we can get into that in a minute, but I think I have about 70 good ones. So this prompt, right? So this is important. I think, for people that are out there that maybe want to use this for their YouTube channel, maybe they need an intro song for the first 15 seconds or 30 seconds. So,
Right.
that's one way. And you got music tracks that can kind of play over your videos if you're not talking. Now, if you have a storefront and you don't want to keep playing Leonard Skinner all day on repeat, you can
Right.
also create songs that are just instrumental. So they sound very good and they don't have all these words. So sometimes having too many words in songs, people are in there going, okay, but you just have jams playing in there, and it's, you don't have to really buy it. You don't have to go buy a bunch of CDs, rip it down, MP3s, throw it on your media player, all that stuff. So I took my lyrics, so they're the same lyrics for every song, and it's very purposeful that way. That way, every time someone hears it, they go, it's a Gundalorian thing in there.
Sure.
So you paste the lyrics in there, and then you kind of start figuring out the music, right? So now this is the hard part. You could just put rock in there, and it'll create
Right.
you a rock song. But if you want it to be heavy, you got to put key terms in there, and I wanted in the key of F. I wanted at 95 beats a minute, and you might. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit create, and then we'll see what it does. And this is where it kind of changes. Where maybe I get it, I'm like, oh, maybe I want it faster, and you just start tweaking it as you go to
Hey,
get.
Demetrius, I just want to
Yes.
interject here because that's what a lot of people don't understand is these tools, they're only going to magnify what you already are, right? So for me, I've never asked for a tempo or a certain key because I'm not a musician. So musicians will always be able to use a tool like this way better than I will. Same with an artist or a photographer or a videographer. Those people that know those terms, because we're communicating this stuff in the English, the English
Right.
language is the new programming language, right? So
Yep.
a lot of people, you don't put a whole lot into AI because an idiot is not going to be able to produce something, that's, I mean, it's going to be fun for your friends and family, but it's not going to be, shocking, like we're probably about to
Sure.
hear right now.
Well, the other thing too is, if you have a song in mind, like, oh, I really like Motley Crue. Well, you
Right.
can go into Google, go into Chat GPT, say, describe this
Yes.
song by Motley Crue. And then you just take a couple of those keywords out of there, you throw it in there, hit
Yes.
go, and you're like, ooh, that's closer. And then maybe you add a couple of keywords, right? It's really trial and error, and you're not going to break anything. I think that's the most
Right.
important thing about AI is don't feel like you're going to put something in there, then the IRS is going to knock on your door. This is where we're at. Okay. So
Right.
you have time to figure it out. Don't have to be perfect. Just hit create
Yes.
again. So let me see if this will work here. Okay. Can you hear that? What?
Yes. It's not coming through. It's not coming through great though.
Okay. Let me try this one last
Hey,
time. And then,
also,
yes,
would you mind, Demetrius,
sure.
when we send our email out, with the replay, would you mind creating a playlist? I don't know if people know that you can do that, but you can create playlist on Suno and share that playlist. If you could do that, just to let people hear like what you're doing, that would be awesome
Sure.
as well.
Absolutely. What I'll do is I'll post my SoundCloud in there. I have a playlist of all the ones that I've
Okay.
actually accepted and modified. So that'll kind
That
of
would be
help when people
perfect.
listen to it. They'll go, oh, okay, wow, that was maybe AI. Oh God, why do I even play guitar anymore? So
Seriously.
all right, let me try this one more time. Yeah, usually in like Google Meetup and all that stuff, there's a couple extra buttons to allow.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
Hey, you were talking about, that's exactly what I did with the music that I was making. And I think in our last webinar, Ezra's like, all your songs sound the same. It's like, it's because I'm using the same, input as far as I wanted stuff, because I started doing this around when we were going to the summit there in Florida. So I wanted some Jan Hammer music. I think that's how you pronounce his name, from Miami Vice, the synth, all that stuff. So I literally did that. I went and I searched, Googled how would you describe that music? And then I went to, the different AIs and asked, and was able to get, those keywords that you need to create the sound that you're looking for. So always, AI is always going to be able to help AI. If you run into a problem, remember the reason you're using the tool that you're using is because you ran into a problem. So expand your thinking. If you run into a problem with AI, figure out there's another tool out there that can help you, get over that hump.
Absolutely. All right, let me try this one more time here.
It's all over the place. Hey, but we are going to you are going to provide us a link when we send out our replay this week, so people will be able to go and listen to this stuff. Let me ask you this, Demetrius. When you're creating these songs, let's talk about cost, because I see that you've got as many credits as I have. And I think you started out with, was it 3,000?
Yeah, 3,000.
And you've done a ton of songs, right?
Oh my God, yeah, hundreds, yeah.
And what's that subscription cost you?
I think like 3,000 credits was like $9 a month or something. Because you think about it, let's say you just write a bunch, you knock out 50 songs, and you just cancel it. And then when you get tired of listening to those, you go get another $9 for a month and create 50 more. I'm not, hopefully soon I won't, send me a virus for saying that, but
No.
you don't have to be on the hook. I think that's the important thing too, because there's enough free AI stuff to get you where you're going before you commit. Because I did the same thing with this. It gave you like 200 credits or something. So I messed around. I was like, ooh, I think I could do something with this.
Right.
So I will put a link in the chat here to the SoundCloud and some of these. But I wanted to show you, this is also important though, because so what I did initially then is I said, okay, got my songs. I sent it to a couple buddies. They're like, you're crazy. I'm like, all right, it's good. That's what I needed to hear. And so then I been working on my web page is being built, right? So there's all kinds of different things on there. Of course, my dog's barking.
That's AI.
Hear that. It's an AI dog. But I embedded an audio player. Hey, knock it off. And so I have all the songs right here. So I embedded an audio player in the web page so that when someone comes to the web page, they can hit play. It doesn't automatically play and annoy people. So you can come down here and play. There's country songs, there's rock songs, there's hip hop, there's techno. So it's a little bit of everything for everybody.
Yeah.
And then lately I've been experimenting with this. It's another plugin. It's called Sonar that I'm going to plug into here. And it kind of gives you a lot more, and it uses AI matching when it comes to like the color. So as your icon changes colors, the whole theme will kind of follow your web page. It'll follow different, right? So it kind of changes with your album art. So that's going to be embedded in there soon. So I kind of made this a big part of my web page, because when you come there, you're like, dude, there's everything on there. There's going to be a ballistic calculator and music and links to videos and all that kind of stuff. So I had a vision, but I could not take enough time off of work to write 70 songs. So I think what we're getting at in this webinar is really the resourcefulness that you can have in your production is through the roof. Now, if you're really concerned about proprietary, having your name on that song and you wrote everything of it, well, then maybe that's not the use case for you. But for YouTube videos, for background music, for any kind of application, this is an amazing tool. And I'm sure there's better ones than this. We just don't even know what it's called yet.
Exactly.
So,
I think pretty soon we'll probably be able to, go to one of those tools, like, ChatGPT started out with nothing but text. And then they introduced, hey, vision, and then they introduced, reading files and all this other stuff. So I think one day, probably in the very near future, you're going to be able to do all this stuff on one site, because I don't know if but a lot of our customers out there ask about, hey, how can I want to create an email, but I want to do it in HTML or whatever, right? Because you can do that with Corella. Hey, you can create HTML emails with these AI solutions. You just go in there, explain what you're wanting, and then have the code right there. One good one is Claude Sonnet 3.5, I believe. And it actually has you put in your prompt, and on the other side of the screen, it displays exactly how that thing's going to be. I mean, I've seen people make video games, and all kinds of different stuff that you can do. If you can communicate with words, you can create, right? So don't think that you're in a box. You're not in a box. The box has been burned. The box is 300 years ago. We are to the point now where if you can imagine it, you can most likely do it on your own.
Very factual. Yeah, and then the better you use AI prompting, right? So back in the day when we went to school, you had the punch cards, right? You little tap on the thing, it clicks out the little boxes, and you run it through the machine. I'm aging myself in my 50s here, but eventually there became a language then that kind of compiled a lot of stuff within the code. It was a paragraph, but it was compressed into a sentence. Well, prompting is that new version where if you use the right words, and guess what? If you don't even know the right words, you just say, help me design a prompt to get this. And then it'll help you. And you just get a little bit better every time that you prompt it. So that's the music aspect of it, right? That was part of, a really big key factor. And then, obviously for like a YouTube channel, this is just a newer channel that I opened up. And I took those songs and I decided to overlay just cool videos and all that kind of stuff, just to kind of, I'm not a marketing master by any means, but like if your business evolves and it just resides somewhere on the internet, you just want to be present everywhere you can. That way they type in your business, it just pops up. So these videos are sort of like a Gundalorian. What the heck's a Gundalorian? It all kind of ties into the big overall picture. But the interesting thing of this though is I use something called top of my head, I forget what it's called, vidIQ.
Yeah.
So if you don't know anything about SEO and the search engine optimization, you're trying to figure out well, how do they even find my video online? Well, you can get you just look for literally go to ChatGPT, type in coupon code or discount code for vidIQ, and then you'll find one somewhere. 5 minutes you get 50% off or something. So I got a subscription to this just to see, and it helps you write your descriptions. So when you create a video, I'm just gonna create a video just to say, hey, I'm gonna upload a video, select a file, and I'm just gonna put up this. These are all artwork things, but so this will be good for some folks to just sort of see how this works. I'm just gonna I'll reload one that I've already done, but just so you get the concept of it. Yeah, upload. Okay, it's Weapon and Warriors. That's all the best I could come up with. I didn't know what else to call it, and I got to log into it.
You're good. I can take you off the screen if you want while you're logging in.
Sure. Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great.
All right, there you go.
All right, thanks. Just gonna. Yeah. So what vidIQ is? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna while you're logging in. I hope everyone sees like. We do. Yeah, we're a software company. We want you to use CoreStore. We want you to use CoreForce. We want you to use CoreClear and Corella. We want you to use our tools. But what we also want you to do is realize you are so much more capable of doing a lot of things that maybe a year ago you didn't think were possible, from video creation to creating images, custom images for your store, your brand, songs, a lot of if you want to go in and change descriptions on your product, because we all know that, hey, that's a big thing that Google does. You know, they categorize all of these different choices. If you're in a gun industry, you're selling what everybody else is selling. You're probably using the same description that everyone else is using, and Google's looking for unique, right? I know that they may not like us, but it probably costs a whole lot more to suppress us than it does just to leave us be for now. So you can go in and you can change descriptions of weapons. So like Gundalorium, he's creating this whole universe that, I mean, it's straight out of his mind, right? He can literally go in and have those descriptions, you know, relatable to his brand, right? So if he's got different characters in his universe, I mean, he's creating a whole subculture here, you know. And a year or two ago, you would have paid an ad agency or a marketing firm or whatever, you would have paid them the thousands and thousands of dollars a month to do the work that he's doing by himself with a laptop or a desktop, right? So that's what we want you to realize as we give these webinars, as we talk to people that use, you know, all these different tools, as I, you know, tell you how I'm using it in my life. There's nothing that's out of your reach. You can literally do anything. If you can imagine it, 99 times out of 100, you can do it. So, again, you may be wondering, why are we talking about this stuff? That's why, right? So it's just going to make you a better entrepreneur, salesman, whatever it is that you're doing, you can improve, you know, whatever it is that you're doing with these tools. So did you get logged in there, Demetrius?
Now I have to log out of this whole browser, and it'll just mess everything up.
Oh, you're good.
I'll
You're
lose
good.
my place. But
Okay.
it's like a chat GPT built into the studio, right? And then as you click on you know, your title, you say, hey, help me generate a new title, and it'll give you, you know, 10 different title examples that use some of the words that you use, and then it'll give you a score. Like if someone was searching for something, you got a 78 out of 100. Like you're in the upper echelon of search capabilities. And then you do that for your SEO, you do that for your thumbnail. It'll help you create thumbnails. So it's called vidIQ. You can get like a free trial. It's really, really worth it. I think that's been a huge help for me to go, you know, my brain, I'm like, oh, this sounds really good. And I run it through the score. I'm like, okay, 12, that sucks pretty bad. All right, I need some help on this one. So
Right.
it kind of gives you a boost. And I think what you're getting at, Joel, is that these are productivity enhancers for your company when you sort of hit that wall, right? Some people, hey, you might be a Pulitzer Prize winner. You can write this stuff all day. Cool. Maybe I call you and you can help me out. But it's also just like, how do I even go about this? How do I write an SEO friendly description of a video that includes military war videos, police, kicking in doors, guns, boom, and it'll kind of gunculate a couple paragraphs for you, and then you go through each paragraph and go, well, yeah, okay, yeah, like that word, okay, and then you just modify it to fit, you know, your needs.
Right.
Hit enter, and you're just a lot farther ahead. So that's how I use vidIQ for YouTube, and it just helps put the icing on the cake for your video, because so many people work so hard on videos and then they forget about the back end of it, where, you know, how's someone going to find it if they don't see it?
Right. Exactly.
Or see it if they can't find it. So that's the YouTube channel. So that's 3 different uses that I've talked about. 1 is music, 2 is the voice speech, 3 being the YouTube kind of assistant there to help out. And I actually had one called Juice AI. I think they're tied in with someone else, but I've used them to write a few articles, like blog articles, you know, for some
Right.
cybersecurity stuff that I was doing. And it's same concept. Hey, I need to write an article about this. Here's kind of what I want to talk about. It'll get you started. Then you do a little bit of research, plug some more data in, and it will kind of hone you in, help you write an article, help you find pictures for your header,
Right.
all that stuff. So if you really want to write blogs, and here, maybe this is kind of a cheat code, and you're probably doing this with Corilla, but if you as a gun shop owner write 100 blogs, let's say you write one on a Glock 19, P365, P320, you write an article about all these guns and why people should have them. You can literally you can train your chat bot with those blog articles, so then when someone searches for it, not only are they finding your blog article, they're finding your web page and then all the things you have linked to it. So not saying I have that all 100% figured out yet, but you can kind of lead a horse to water and make them drink from all your organically grown content. And that's the goal of kind of where I'm looking at using it. And then the second evolution would be then how do I create an AI assistant to then help with other things? And I think you guys are doing that with Corey, right? And I think that's coming along pretty well too. So article generation, blog creation, all that stuff is what I would use this one for.
So if I could interject one thing, if a lot of you guys may be creating videos, right? If you're creating videos, you've got a ton of data already. There are services out there where you can go transcribe those videos, plug them into the AI and say, hey, either summarize this transcription or write a blog from this transcription so that you can create all these great places, that people are looking for the information. You wouldn't be making videos if you didn't think you had something to say, right? So if you're doing a review or you're doing a tutorial on how to do something, go on and take those videos. You've probably, if you've got 100 or 200 videos, you have a ton of data that you can immediately weaponize right now because you've said things in those videos that need to be, available to your customers online. So turn them into blogs, turn them into, articles or newsletters or whatever it is. I just wanted to throw that out there, Demetrius.
Oh, 100%. And then the other thing that's interesting is you can take any old YouTube video. So you can go to, I'm just going to type in one just to show you how cool this part is. And it's a Kickstarter for something that you may want to do. So I'm just going to type in, I don't know why I keep talking about P365, but we'll keep the theme on that. And you can, pick a video, all right? You can just copy the link. And then there's a site called YouTube Summary or YouTube Transcripts, and there's another one that's called like YouTube Summaries. And you can plug it in there and it'll summarize that whole video. So if it's 15 minutes long and you don't want to like try to dictate it, that'll tell you exactly what it's talking about. And then if you go to YouTube Transcripts and type it in here, and we're gonna do that in this
Hang on, you're not sharing your screen. Do you want me to share your screen now?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Hey, I want to tell everybody, if you see a product called YouTube Scribe, do not get it. Do not get YouTube Scribe. It's like YT Scribe or something like that. It is horrible. I wasted $60, right? I've probably been able to transcribe, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 videos, which if I had to do that, if I had to pay somebody to do that, it's a lot cheaper, but it's not dependable at all. This may be a better option for you.
Yes. Isn't it interesting how everything works until you get on camera? It's ridiculous.
Yes. I think it's Schrodinger's cat. Isn't that what it is?
Something like that. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So funny. All right, continue. And so when people come to a content block, like what do I even do a video about? Like,
right.
Where do I even start? Because everyone that's really in the gun business has some level of experience that is valuable to somebody. You don't have to be special operations. You don't have to be a cop. You could be a long time, just a novice shooter, but you have a lot of things to share with people. And then you can go, take a video that someone else did, come up, and then they come up with a summary. Well, now you have an outline for the things that you may want to talk about, and then you start word vomiting on there. Maybe throw some stuff into ChatGPT or any one of them.
Right.
And so you can see this. It kind of gives you a watermark of what time it is. It really hones down and gives you bullet statements. And you go, well, maybe you want to do a counter video to this. Like the P365 is terrible. Blows up in your hand, and then you can use this to counter some of those bullet points. So this is a really good one to just kind of give you a good frame of mind, and then just reduce. It's not word for word. You'll get typos and stuff in here too, so it's not perfect. But it's a really good Kickstarter. So I recommend this one a lot. This is called YouTube Summaries. And
is that free?
I don't know. It is. I think if you use it too many times, they'll probably say, "Hey, you need to, think about paying us." Or you can always log in with a different Google account or something that won't recognize you in the cookies.
Right.
So, and then YouTube summaries. I don't know what's going on with this one. It just worked this morning when I tried it, but should over here, but
Yeah, there's so many different things that you can do with a lot of times so the way these work, just in case any of you out there start using them, if that video was uploaded in the past day or so, that transcript may not be available, because what Google is doing is they're going through and they're creating the transcript on the back end. So if you've got, you know, 1 million videos a day being uploaded, which is probably on the low end, their computers are crunching away at numbers, and they're trying to, you know, transcribe all these things to make that available to, you know, creators or people that want to use this. So just keep that in mind. It may, whatever tool you're using may not work right away. If it doesn't, go back the next day and try it again.
all right, I'm going to just spend 1 minute on back to vidIQ. That wasn't working. Now it's working.
Okay.
So this is kind of what it does when you come up with your title, and then you can say generate alternate titles. Well, right now I have an 89 score, so it's not too bad. Like, you know, if someone typed in firepower, arsenal, arms, it's like 89% chance that'll show up in their feed.
Right.
Well, here's some other ones: the Gundalorians, Star Wars weapons, whatever. You know, I added a couple little, you know, emojis in there when I created it, but you know, this one, Mandalore. Well, it's not Mandalore, so I'm not going to take that. You scroll down, and it'll kind of tell you, like, here's how we got your score. Is it intriguing elements? You know, here's your description's good. What needs to be improved? Maybe shorter description, right? So it kind of really walks you through the whole process.
Right.
And it's a really good tool if you're a content creator or thinking about being a content creator. This will help get your kickstart everything for you.
And that's vidIQ.
That is vidIQ, VIDIQ. And you know, these are just a bunch of little videos that I have done. Each one of them are very similar, where you know I put hashtags in there and all kinds of stuff. And while you're creating it in YouTube Studio, this is just a little plug-in for your Google extension, and it automatically will jump in and help you as you go. So I log into vidIQ, which you can kind of do the same thing, but it's easier to just do it in YouTube Studio.
Right.
So same thing. So that one works really good. I like it.
That is amazing, man.
It is good. So I guess I wanted to really quickly transition a little bit towards my evolution of AI. So then this was all content stuff. This is all entertaining, fun. You know, didn't really, you know, it wasn't really a text-based thing. I guess the SEO is. Well, then as I started getting into using ChatGPT and Perplexity is another one that's, it actually searches the web. So they're all in different levels of evolving over time. I heard Apple might buy Perplexity. Who knows if that's the case? But I got the Rabbit R1, right? Everyone, I don't know if anyone's ever seen this thing here. I put it right here.
Right.
So this little handheld device, it actually came with a year of Perplexity. This was $100.
Oh, wow.
Came with the $100 year membership free. So I was like, oh, that worked out pretty good.
That was worth it. That was worth it.
Yep. So I got Perplexity. I really liked it, and it gave me real-time web searching and all that kind of stuff. And it's really funny. The first time I ever used it, one of my former airmen who worked for me, he was applying to PA school. He's like, Colonel, I need a reference letter. I'm like, all right, you want to know what's it do? He's like, midnight. I'm like, holy crap. Okay. I'm looking through all my little shells of, you know, things I've written in the past.
Yeah.
I'm like, So I just like, well, let me try this. Help me write a letter of recommendation for physical, this is the guy's name. Hit it. I was like, oh my God, that's the Colonel. Whoa. I was like, so I took it, put it in the Word, you know, ran through some Grammarly and, you know, kind of just, you know, did all my word checks and rewrote some paragraphs and stuff. Send it. He's like, you're a genius. I'm like, yeah, you know, kind of been working out a little lately. So that's how I used Perplexity. Was my first like official use of it, besides just kind of like screwing around. So but part of that was really, how do I capture what I'm trying to do with it now that I'm trying to tie this into a web page? So I had come up with just a goobly gook of things when I was like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. I'm like, whoa, slow down. You compartmentalize this. So I actually used it as a way to mind map. So as I word vomited all the stuff that I wanted to do, then I use a program that I use for my day job. It's called AOA. It's just a mind mapping thing. You can create different charts. They can look different. This is just the way that I have it. But I was like, okay, if I'm going to create a chat bot, how do I structure this? How do I even like put my hands around this? And all the crap that I plugged in there, I ran it through this AI generator on AOA, and it popped out a mind map. I'm like, that's my brain. Oh man, so
That's it. Yes.
it made me go, okay, so now when I actually hit a result, and we'll go to that in a second on the chatbot, if it's not giving me what I want in return, I can kind of go to this section and then start working on that section of further defining like knowledge of weapons history and strategy or whatever it's
Right.
going to be. So it really helped me put a visual on just pages and pages of text where I was
Yes.
lost in the sauce, right? So, and I'm trust me, I'm not like the biggest nerd by any means, but once you get over the first hump of not being afraid of it, you just start. It's like sledding. You're just going. You're on the tube,
Right.
and it's really good. It's sort of addictive where you're like, wow, I'm so much more productive. I got this thing done in like 10 minutes, or I never even thought of that. So,
And you
now,
got to get through the initial stages of just making crap, because I don't know if anybody remembers, but when Google first came out, there was a lot of just all you did with Google was you search for like off the wall topics. Like, you know,
pictures
how
of your
deep,
mom, pictures of
yeah, how deep is the Mariana Trench? Or, I mean, it's really stupid. You waste a lot of time, but it's not, you're not wasting time when you're doing that, because those people that did that really learned how to communicate with Google, really learned how to get information out. So it's the same with this. This is, the more you do it, the more songs you make, the more, you know, images you create, the more, you know, videos pretty soon. I think that's going to be a huge thing. The more videos you create, it's just, you'll be able to, again, weaponize those skills that you have, right, for your business. So yeah, it's not a waste of time. This is not, the people that scoff at this stuff, they're literally not going anywhere. I'm not joking. I see people that look at this stuff and they're like, yeah, it's no big deal. It's like, well, you're going to be way behind. You may not be out of business, but someone with less skill and less know-how than you will pass you up, because they're going to be using these tools because they know, man, I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go use these tools that leverage my little bit of knowledge into a lot of knowledge. So yeah, this is
yeah. I think my fear as a business owner is being obsolete, right? Someone goes somewhere else because I was too busy putting the 8-track player on. I didn't evolve, right? I'm not saying I need to be the most evolved, but I at least have to kind of keep up with the Joneses to see what's out there, because you can use ChatGPT to help you optimize your shipping rates. Like, hey, here's a chart of all the packages that I've shipped. Help me
right.
optimize this. And not saying that I have that all figured out exactly yet, but it will calculate the numbers for you and it'll help like this. And you walk it in, and maybe you figure out that, hey, maybe you charge $9.99 for shipping instead of $19.99, and then you get a zillion more customers. That's the hopeful use of it from a business perspective. I'm showing you just the creative side of how I got to
Right.
sort of where I hope I'm going. So it was mapping it out, and then so I got this for WordPress. It's called AI Engine, and I got the pro version. So I took all this crazy stuff that I was vomiting all over the place, put it in the training. Right, this is how I'm training my chatbot to do things. It's not an assistant; it's just a chatbot. I wanted to have an attitude a certain way. I wanted to have jokes. I wanted to not talk about politics. I want these things, and that credit's called Gunbot AI, right? So then it's kind of funny, like, tell me a joke, you know, like normal people do. And of course, it failed. Come on, kidding me? Always stop that, killing me. These are all just like sandboxes that I've been working on. So nothing's real here. A joke.
Oh, you just said a joke, but maybe let's see if it figures out.
It will. Why did the gunner learn across the road to scare the crap out of the other side? You know, what I did is I took 500 Chuck Norris facts right? And I said, replace Gundalorian for Chuck
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
and only use those jokes.
Right.
So, and but how did I get those jokes? ChatGPT. I was like, give
Yeah.
me 500 Chuck Norris jokes. It's like, I can only do 50. I'm like, okay, then do 50 more, 50 more, 50 more, 50
Right.
more. So then I was like, well, I want this thing to really be pop culture aware, so like, what is your favorite movie? And I put in like 100 of my favorite movies, Die Hard, they kind of, I don't
Yeah.
actually swear, but, so you can actually like mess with it a little bit. It's kind of entertaining. But then when it came to like guns, I needed it to be a mimic of sort of how I would react and how I would answer stuff.
Right.
So AK-47 versus M16. And I trained to be like a weapons expert, and military history and all this stuff. But it'll give you like just the generics, like, hey, classic showdown. Let's break it down. It kind of tells you a little bit about the AK, a little about the M16. It gives you just some food for thought. It's not content aware yet, and I think that's where you guys are at. Where I don't have it getting data off the web page yet, or from the web. It's still sort of getting honed in. But if someone comes and they're like, well, what's the top 5 best-selling handguns or 9mm? It'll kind of get you a ballpark. I'll probably like Glock. I imagine Glock's up there, and it's got to be in there somewhere. Yeah, Glock 19, Smith & Wesson, P320, Beretta. Yeah. So at least now they can go on the web page and go, well, let me look at those, because my web page, as you can see, it's kind of for nerds, right? It's a little bit different. It's more very pop culture oriented. It's just different. But I want to get a lot of younger people who are gun adjacent. Maybe they're gamers. Maybe they don't want to go into the gun shop because the crusty guy back there is going to be like, "What do you want?"
Right.
You millennial. So I'm trying to create a chat bot that sort of can talk to anybody in a common voice, to where they don't go, "Oh, well, that's kind of cool. Yeah, let me browse around a little bit." So if that just adds 1% to someone staying on the webpage longer, cool. If the music stays 1% more, awesome, right? I just look at these as enhancers to what the content of the page is going to be with the guns and the ammo and all that stuff. So I used ChatGPT, Perplexity. I plugged all these things in there, ran it through. So hey, so I'll show you this last verse. So I did this chat bot, and then I said, well, how do I make it better? And so to do that, I actually chatbot training. So I was like, how do I train it better? So I really broke down the categories a little bit better, like actually coming up with responses and say an example of a response would be this. So the longer and better that you can train it, and you know this, Joel, you're better at this than I am. You can get a better answer out of it.
Yes.
And it doesn't take a lot of work. You just got to, chip away at it and figure it out and wing it and talk to people like you. Like when I met you at the conference, I was like, oh my God, there's another person that talks about AI. Everyone I talked to here like looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, that's the future. I'm pretty sure.
It's the future. It absolutely is the future. And it's only going to get, it's only going to get more insane, I think. I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I'll show you what you've just demonstrated. A lot of people can do. A lot of people can do right now with ChatGPT. So if they're paying for a subscription, this is my ChatGPT work account, and what I did is I've got a strategic sales planner, and what I did is I just uploaded some data saying, hey, here's where I am. Here are the hunting season. So I uploaded like the Louisiana game and fish, everything. And I said, what products should I stock for August? Right. And then it goes through using based on the Louisiana 2023-2024 hunting season regulations and your sales data. Here's what I would do. So it's taking sales data that I uploaded. So if you're using CoreStore, download those sales reports, upload them to, a robot, right? Well, I would be glad to help anyone out there that's interested in doing this, because obviously we want you to succeed. You're using our our solutions. We don't just want you to stay where you are. We want you to succeed. So if I can help anybody with anything like this, I mean, and you're paying for something like this, this is $20 a month. And you can make, you know, unlimited custom GPTs. Another one I made was, let's see, top sellers, right? So again, based upon sales data, right? So what product should I stock for the month of August? And you go through here and it's pulling data based upon what I did last August. So you may not always want to do that, but it's good to know, hey, what was going on last year around this time? You want to take that into account when you're making your orders or, you know, planning out things. Another thing that I've done that I would encourage you to do is you can go through your store. Here, let me try it right now because I don't know if I can do it. And I could just be, let's see. So this is just a basic, it's just literally, I pulled this off of Google. I just said, show me pictures of products on shelves, right?
Okay.
Now, if you've got a store, go through your store and take pictures of everything, right? Make the robot aware of what it's looking at. So you can say, this is by the entrance. This is by the back door. This is by the entrance to the range. Or if you have multiple ranges, this is the entrance to the range closest to the register. Here's the register. And you can say something like, and I haven't tried this, so I may look like an idiot. Can you tell me a more efficient way to stock this product? And I don't know what I'm talking about. So it's going to look at this image and it may say, I need to see more, but a bit more information. So it looks, is that liquor? It's a grocery store and this is a liquor aisle. So let's see what it does. Nah, it's not going to do it. Oh, but it's going to throw something out there at least. So you can go in and this is what I would encourage anyone with a physical store to do. If you have a physical store, you obviously want to place product in the most optimal, you know, obviously you want to sell product. So you want to put the product where it's going to move the fastest. I know my words are getting tied up here, but it seems so simple until you try to put it in a word. So you've got a professional like layout specialist right here, right? It knows everything if you train it. Even if you don't train it, I could go and upload this to a regular, not anything special. Oh, I did it. So this is not even one of the ones that I train. This is just asking it a basic question. And Demetrius, on Perplexity, can you upload images?
You can. Yeah, let me see if I can just upload one here real quick.
Because Perplexity, the way I understand Perplexity, it's more of like a really, really super advanced Google, right? Because it's got access to all the current data.
Mhm.
But you
So
can
let
see,
me-
I
yeah,
went through, I did so the strategic sales planner, whistle advisor, that's our little deal. This is the Louisiana Legal Firearm Guide. And this is just everything. Can I carry in wait, can I conceal carry in a mall? So it's actually pulling this data from the data that I trained the bot with, right? So you can do things like this that just I don't have time to answer the question, right? Demetrius may not have time to answer all the questions that people have, but he's got a place where he's put all the information that anybody could ever want right there, right? And these things only get smarter the more you use them and the more you train them. It really is fascinating stuff, man. I mean, it's just this is the future. Here's my gun genius. What's the best? I don't know how to spell today. What's the best concealed carry pistol if I have small hands? I don't. Maybe I do have small hands. So yeah, Sig 365 43X. I would say that's LCP2. So it's giving you some good information, but it's only giving you, I forget where I had this pulling from. I think I had it pulling from an actual website. So it's going and looking at like, what are people talking about? And it's reading all this stuff, and you see how fast it is. It's just AI will be able to do what you do a whole lot faster than you, and it will allow you to do a whole lot more than you can do by yourself. So,
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, Joel, like 100% helpful doing all that stuff, because not every one of your employees also is going to be super knowledgeable about the stuff that you as a business owner want to sell. Like, maybe there's 10 brands that you really want to push. This person don't have any experience with them. You could help train them up by creating training documents, as you're teaching over your shoulder.
yes,
you could use that as well, right? There's so many uses for it. That's not just content creation or
right.
exploring data from your web page. It's real life stuff.
Right.
I've used it too to create a performance improvement plan for some employees that were, needing a little bit of assistance, right?
Yeah.
Writing performance reports, a job advertisement, like, hey, take this job advertisement and make it shorter, or whatever you want it to look like, and it'll help it. And you go,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cut
Or
and
more
paste.
appealing to this demographic or this,
Right.
age or whatever that I'm looking for, right? Because it literally knows everything. The robot knows everything. So you may get some hallucinations, but think about being able to write, you want to hire a specific type person, college graduate, has some life experience, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be able to put those words it's going to be able to write those words in a way that will communicate with that person, right? Instead of you as a business owner, you sound like a stiff, like, oh, this guy, I don't want to go work for him. And he could be the perfect employee, So yeah, using all these tools, man, I'm telling you, it's this is some crazy stuff. And I see, Demetrius, we're hitting an hour and 12 minutes.
Oh, sorry about
that. It goes
that.
by so quick.
But
will you come on for a future episode?
Sure. Absolutely. I'd love to.
Yeah.
I appreciate you even letting me on this one. So thank you.
No, this is great, man. I want to highlight people that are using the tools that in a year, if you're not using them, you're just an idiot. I'm being serious, because all the people that are using it, it's going to be, they're going to be behind, right? Because we could get stuck. You and I could get stuck in whatever it is that we're doing. We're still using the tools, but it's nonstop advancing. So you just have to stay on top of it. And the more you stay on top of it, that kind of becomes your job. Your job is literally just managing those different agents. You know what I mean? Because I know agents are the next massive thing to come in AI. And it's literally, you've got, multiple agents as employees, and they're going to do everything that needs to be done online. They're going to be able to do. So,
right. Yeah. And that'll be good, because that's my next adventure, is getting into that. Because I got the chatbot kind of where I want it. Now I need an assistant. I need an assistant to do certain things. And I think, I don't know if I asked you last time you guys had your webinar, if Corey will, if you go on there and you say, hey, can you find my tracking number? Is that something that's coming up in the future?
Not yet. Well, I don't know if Josh, you're on. Do you know if it's gonna be that deeply integrated? I know I used to say yes to everything, Demetrius, but
Sure.
I've seen how things work on the back end now, and a lot of this stuff is monumental moving. It's not as simple as just flipping a switch. Eventually, we will have an AI that deeply integrate into all of our platforms. That's a
Right,
long way.
because when you think about like the common things that a gun customer goes, and maybe not for core where, but you have so many of your customers have Coreware platforms that they'll go on and be like, well, where's my tracking number? They don't want to call anybody.
Right.
They just want a real quick answer. And if there was an ability to have an assistant that would just find the easy stuff, oh yeah, what's your email address? Without going into privacy information, verification and stuff like that.
And I
Stuff
will
like
tell you
that, I
this,
think for me.
right. And I will say this, a lot of that stuff, it's going to be handled by the phone makers or the computer makers
Mhm.
like Apple
Right.
Intelligence. I know that, right. I'm beta testing the iOS 18 right now, and some of the AI, uh, just how it summarizes my emails. So
Mhm.
it's learning what I prioritize. It's putting at the top what I think. It's even getting rid of the subject line. So it'll have the title of the email, and then the first sentence will be a summarization, to tell me, like, is this important? Here's what I'm pulling from this email. Is it important? So you'll be able to eventually, I think, if you had an iPhone, you could say, hey Siri, where's my, no, don't listen. You could say, hey, so and so, I know I've got a shipment coming in. Can you tell me that? And it's going to be able to produce that email immediately. So a lot of things that we're thinking of, Demetrius, we're thinking we've got to do. And what we don't understand is like everybody else is jumping on board too. So what we do is figure out ways to make it as easy as possible for that information to be available. Right. So like if there's a certain way that we want to title the email or whatever, we just need to learn. And again, that goes into the layers of all this stuff, because it's not just AI is trillions of layers, right? You can go as deep as you want, right? It's when I say layers, that not in a negative way, layers. I'm talking
Mhm.
about the sky's the limit. Literally, the sky's the limit. So we
Yeah.
just need to learn how to communicate like we're communicating with the robots. We need to learn how, when we're running our business or sending out emails, how best to present that information so that whatever AI they're using says, hey, yeah, this is good stuff. We need to show it to our
Mhm.
people. Basically, you're going to have,
Absolutely.
a local SEO, right? It'll be a
Mhm.
local SEO instead of an SEO across the entire internet. You'll have a local SEO on your phone where it's just going to show you the things that you need, or your computer or whatever. I know that's coming. I know where we're going. I see it.
Mhm.
It can be scary, but it also, the possibilities are limitless. If we're sick, we go to a doctor. That doctor only has so much information, right? And there's coming
Mhm.
a day when we're going to be able to go to a robot, and I know this sounds dystopian or whatnot, but this robot has access to every piece of information known to man about whatever it is that you think's wrong with you. And you can say, yeah, this particular food is bother, and it's gonna immediately be able to tell you, hey, this could be wrong, right? Because it literally is a specialist, and it's able to crunch all that data immediately. And that's just not something we'll ever be able to do. So we need to learn how to start talking to these things, and we need to learn to start building them as well, and plugging this stuff in wherever you can, because you
Mhm.
could have the next multimillionaire or multi-billion dollar idea. I know that
Sure.
Sam Altman said that he believes in the next decade we'll have the first $1 billion one employee company because of AI. You're going to have one employee, and that one employee is going to be able to do everything, and it's going to be worth $1 billion. So it's
I can see
possible.
it.
And if you're paying attention to the stuff, and we'll end on this, um, over the past week or two, there's been a lot of talk out of OpenAI about, um, there's an account on X called I Rule the World MO, and a lot of people think it's Sam Altman, who is the one of the founders of OpenAI. And they posted, Sam Altman posted a picture of strawberries in his garden. So this other account, they think that it's the alter ego of Sam Altman, starts talking about Strawberry, and supposedly Strawberry is in reference to Q-Star, which is their next big thing, which is it's supposed to be a smaller model, but it's supposed to be more it's going to be able to a lot more reason and logic, closer to human reason and logic, especially in mathematics, which you would think mathematics would be the easiest thing because it's just numbers, right? 2 + 2 is 4, right? But evidently that's a really hard thing right now. So that's coming. There may be something this week coming out from OpenAI, and you've had a lot of people leave. A lot of dramas going on there, and it could be because they may have think they've gotten to AGI, which, you know, my belief, we're already in artificial intelligence. If it can reason and use logic and, you know, figure things out, it's just doing what we're doing. It just may be stupid, right? It's really stupid AI, but it's still, I mean, even the stupid AI can do things that I can't do, and a lot of really smart people can't do really fast. So this is a really exciting field. It is the next Google. When Google was released, I think this is going to make that time look like preschool, in all honesty, because this information was the key for Google. The application of information is going to be what AI brings to everybody. So you take the information, you do what you need to do with it, and you apply it. It's going to empower humanity. And I know I sound like a hippie, you know, for saying that, but I really believe this is the biggest thing that's happened to humanity. It's fascinating. I'm super excited about it. Hey, Josh, would you mind getting on right now? Because I'm sure Demetrius wants to say hi to you. Josh. Come on, Josh.
Matrix.
Let me in, Coach. You're in.
Josh,
There you
what's
go.
going on, man? Good to see you, man.
I look like a hippie. I know. I have wings.
You look
I'm just
fine,
jealous.
I'll give you some of mine once I get it all chopped off. So I'll ship it out to
you. Awesome. Hey, and just feedback, like, hey, Corey's working really well. I like it because I feel bad for Hunter. He seems to always be the one that answers me whenever I got some random, like, how do I find my sales ID? That is leading me to get a lot of answers that are just super service level, easy stuff if you haven't done it in a while. So I like the evolution of it already. It's helpful. I'm sure, you know, same thing, you know, how the guys are like, oh my God, it's Demetrius again. You know, so yeah, cool. Awesome job on that.
Yeah. So Corey still has a few issues with it, and we know about them, and we are working to wrap them up. But yeah, it will butt into conversations. It will do a bunch of different things. And yeah, it's a little too in your face at times. So we're trying to get it out of being so aggressive, trying to help out so much. But yeah, its actual learning module is doing really well at picking things up, learning from how we're actually answering the chats. That part of it all is really impressive to us.
Yes. Yeah. Really great job on that.
Nice. Josh, how'd you think the webinar went?
I thought it was really good, actually.
What do you mean, actually?
Well, you know. No, I was very into everything you guys were talking about.
Good.
I'll be honest, there's some topics that go right over my head, but this time I was like, everything that Demetrius is doing, like I myself am in that age group, I'm in that social circle that he's targeting. So everything he's talking about is exciting to me. So that stuff's really cool. That stuff gets me excited more than a lot of the other AI stuff.
That's awesome, man.
Good feedback.
I would say if you guys are in the market for an AI solution that's not Coreware related, any of them are good right now. ChatGPT, Claude's really good, especially if you want to do more technical stuff. Gemini is good. I think Gemini is the only one that you can upload video to. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. You've got,
we used Gemini a little bit when we were setting up the new help desk, and we were all pretty impressed with it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's well, it's Google, so they better be. And I think that's a lot of the drama right now is when Gemini came out with the 2 million token, which means that it just can provide a whole lot more information, at once. It really scared everybody, and now that's why the strawberry talk started, coming out, Q-Star and all that stuff. So any of these tools will work. Start talking to them. I'm going to do it right now. I want to thank Josh and I want to thank Demetrius, but I'm also going to ask my robot to give you guys a message, and we're gonna end it here. Make sure I don't want to at you guys. So here,
is this the Apple AI that's giving us a message?
Please tell everybody that we enjoyed having them attend our webinar, and we can't wait to see them in the next one. And then tell a little joke at the very end.
Oh, this is ChatGPT.
Sure. How about this? Thank you all for attending our webinar. We really enjoyed having you with us and can't wait to see you at the next one. And remember, attending our webinars is like joining a gym. You feel good afterward, and it's probably the most productive thing you'll do all week.
That works. You actually just told them. You told the joke.
Thank you guys.
Sure. Here's one for you. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts.
Mic drop. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Hey, I'm not talking to you anymore. Stop listening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We can't wait to see you in the next one. Josh, thank you for being here. Did you have any questions over the thing, Josh? Did we have any questions come through?
Just a couple, but I answered the majority of them, and I asked a couple that you guys answered, so that was nice.
Nice. All right.
Hopefully, I was asking some of the questions in some of our viewers' heads.
Yeah, you did. A couple of them, I saw them come through. Absolutely.
Awesome.
And I know Demetrius is going to join us in the future for a future episode. Demetrius, we're going to try to do these more often. So it could be in another week or two. I might call you and say, hey, man, have you learned anything new? If you want to share anything, and we'll just hop on and have a conversation. So, yeah, let's do it, man.
I put my email in there in case anyone just has an oddball question they want to answer me or ask me or something. Just email me. And I'll get you where I'm at. I don't know everything yet either. I'm here to help.
Awesome. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to turn the music up, take us off the stage. If you guys could just remain on so it could finish uploading, and then with that, we'll say bye.
All right.
Bye, guys.
I had tactics, we're blazing trails so bright, turning bites to brilliance in the still